This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 Don't want to die of cold. Toll free.
Tell us what you're complaining.
The complaint is
A few moments later.
the city attorney and prosecutor right there for providing.
Okay,
I'm saying.
time's up.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
No, that's right, Johnny. You know, and I'm very appreciative of our freedom and our democracy that we take for granted often because we're so used to it. I've been to several foreign countries where they were fighting wars just to be able to go in and put some ink on their thumb and voice their opinion. So.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
We live in a time where just standing on basic rights is heroic because we're all so used to giving them up day to day that, like, when somebody comes forward and says, no, we have these rights and I'm going to stand on them and I'm going to be unwavering, this has now become heroic. This has become, like the founder said, telling the truth in a world full of lies is a revolutionary act, right? I'm not one of these folks like they claim who wants to overthrow government. I understand spiritually government would only be necessary for a population of folks who have proven they cannot govern themselves based on natural law and God's law. And that's exactly what we have. So I'm a proponent of folks who are able to govern themselves, who understand the foundational principles of the law of this land, that they be left alone. They say these are the most dangerous folks on the land. Why? Because they're talking and standing on what they're saying. They're not doing nothing to nobody. They're just revealing to everyone we have God-given rights and they're willing to stand on them and die for them. And that's the most dangerous man on the planet right now. Right now, the rest of the slaves, the ones who self-identify as trustees, whether they know it or not, part of the United States Federal Corporation, federal body politic, they have a duty and obligation through contract to uphold the policies and codes. Because now, again, there's two classes of being. There's a privileged class of being under the law, and then there's a protected class of being. Most of us have opted into being a privileged class where we get privileges and benefits in exchange for essentially our rights by contract. So majority of folks are entering into a contract. They have made themselves a part of a corporate body politic, and therefore they have an obligation to fulfill that contract. If they want to correct that status and that standing and that presentment, and therefore renegotiate on that contract, right, and go back to being a man or woman on the land, then they're not subject to policy and code. They're only subject to the law of the land and essentially God's law, right? A set of laws that's in our conscience. It's discoverable. We can come to know it and do it, and we will create a kingdom of heaven out of that. But because we do not seek the truth and be set free, we are born into a certification program where a legal person is created, an all caps entity is created, and we spend the first 18 years identifying as that entity everywhere we go, taking our birth certificate and our social security down to DMV, getting ourselves a license for a right we already have. A license is synonymous with doing business and commerce. At a certain point, they created a group, a corporate capacity, where everybody